Today, we're diving into the top 5 mysteries that blew everyone's minds when solved. From lost explorers to cryptic killers, stick around to see which mystery takes the #1 spot, and trust me, you won't see these twists coming. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and let's get into it. First up, we're heading straight into ancient Egypt, with a queen who knew how to make an entrance, and an exit, apparently. We're talking about Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt. This wasn't just some ruler. She was the OG drama queen. I mean, she had it all. Power, love affairs with Roman big shots like Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, and of course, that whole dramatic death by asp bite. Talk about going out with a bang. But here's the thing. After her death in 30 BC, she supposedly got the royal treatment, buried with her lover, Mark Antony. But where? That's the question that has haunted historians for centuries. Some whispered about a hidden tomb submerged beneath the waves near Alexandria. Others figured it was lost forever, swallowed by the sands of time. Fast forward to 2021, archaeologists working at a site called Taposiris Magna, about 30 miles from Alexandria, stumbled upon something incredible. We're talking tunnels, a whole cemetery, and an overall vibe that just screamed royalty. Leading the charge was this archaeologist, Kathleen Martinez, who had a hunch about Taposiris Magna. And guess what? Her intuition paid off. They unearthed coins stamped with Cleopatra's face, statues that looked like they came straight out of her palace, and a bunch of other stuff that pointed right back to the legendary queen. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds promising, but is it really Cleopatra's tomb? Good question. While it's not 100% confirmed, the evidence is pretty darn compelling. And the idea that Cleopatra's final resting place might have been hiding in plain sight this whole time. All right, mystery number 4 takes to the chilling vastness of the open ocean, where the unknown lurks beneath the waves. Buckle up, because this one has all the makings of a classic ghost story. A seemingly abandoned ship, a missing crew, and enough spooky theories to keep you up at night. Picture this, December 5th, 1872. The British brigantine Dei Gratia is sailing through the choppy waters of the Atlantic when they spot something strange on the horizon. It's another ship, the Mary Celeste, just drifting aimlessly about 400 miles east of the Azores. The Dei Gratia crew are immediately like, hello? Anyone home? They approach cautiously, expecting the worst. Maybe pirates, maybe a mutiny, right? But what they find is even weirder. The Mary Celeste is practically pristine. Her cargo is untouched. Her supplies are fully stocked, and her sails are still billowing in the wind. There's just one tiny problem. There's not a single soul on board. Her cargo is untouched. Her supplies are fully stocked, and her sails are still billowing in the wind. We're talking about a crew of 10 men, plus the captain's wife and their 2-year-old daughter, all gone without a trace. The ship's logbook was found, but the last entry was from 10 days earlier, and it didn't shed much light on the situation. No signs of a struggle, no distress signals, just an eerie silence hanging over the abandoned vessel. Now, obviously, this sparked a whole frenzy of speculation. Had the Mary Celeste stumbled into some kind of supernatural squall? Did a rogue wave wash everyone overboard? The theories got wilder and wilder, each one more outlandish than the last. For over a century, the mystery of the Mary Celeste remained unsolved, fueling countless books, documentaries, and campfire stories. But in the 21st century, a team of scientists decided to tackle the mystery using a little something called, logic and reason. They aimed to separate fact from fiction and bring some clarity to this age-old enigma. While still not confirmed, many believe the crew may have abandoned the ship. That the crew took a lifeboat, intending to return to the ship later. but were unfortunately lost at sea. All right, buckle up, because this one's a wild ride. For number 3, we're talking about the Golden State Killer, a name that sent chills down the spines of Californians for over a decade. From 1976 to 1986, this creep was basically playing a real-life horror movie, racking up a truly horrifying list of crimes: 13 murders, over 50 essays, and burglaries. Dude loved burglaries, over 100 of them. And it wasn't just the sheer number of crimes, it was the way he did it. This guy was meticulous, breaking into homes, stalking couples, and leaving behind this terrifying sense that he could be anywhere, watching you, just waiting to strike. He would even call his victims afterward, taunting them, reminding them that he was always one step ahead. I'm getting creeped out just thinking about it. The cops were stumped. They had some clues, sure. DNA, witness descriptions, even recordings of his creepy phone calls. But nothing seemed to stick. It was like he just vanished into thin air, leaving behind years of terror and a whole lot of unanswered questions. This case, my friends, was ice cold. But little did they know, this case was about to take a turn straight out of a science fiction novel. In 2018, DNA from crime scenes was uploaded to a genealogy site. Think 23andMe vibes. An amateur sleuth traced it to a distant relative, narrowing it to Joseph D'Angelo, a 72-year-old ex-cop. Arrested, he confessed. The shocker? Tech and a random Reddit user cracked what the FBI couldn't. Minds exploded. This monster was living quietly among us for 40 years. Okay, picture this. It's February 1959. You're trekking through the Ural Mountains with your buddies, and it's colder than a Yeti's nose. The wind is howling, and the snow is relentless, but you're determined to push through. You set up camp, hoping to survive the night. Sounds rough, right? Well, for 9 Soviet hikers, it was about to get a whole lot worse. They had no idea what was coming. Weeks later, a search party stumbled upon their campsite, and let me tell you, it wasn't pretty. The scene was straight out of a nightmare. The tent was ripped open from the inside, like someone was trying to claw their way out. It was as if they were desperate to escape something terrifying. Gear was scattered everywhere, and the hikers' bodies were found further down the slope, some in various states of undress. It was a scene of utter chaos and confusion. I'm talking missing underwear, missing body parts. The injuries were bizarre and unsettling. Some folks whispered about radioactive snow, others swore it was aliens, and a few even blamed the abominable snowman. The theories were as wild as the landscape itself. Was it a government cover-up? A Yeti attack? A secret weapon test gone wrong? The possibilities seemed endless. But then, in 2021, a team of scientists decided to tackle this frosty enigma with the power of, wait for it, avalanche simulations. They wanted to get to the bottom of it once and for all. Yeah, you heard me right. They used the same tech that brought you Elsa's ice castle in Frozen to recreate the conditions on that fateful night. It was a high-tech approach to an old mystery. And guess what? They discovered that a rare type of slab avalanche, which is basically a wall of snow the size of a small apartment building, likely slammed into the hikers' campsite. It was a revelation. Now, imagine you're in a flimsy tent, and suddenly, bam, you're buried under tons of snow. It's a terrifying thought. You'd be freaking out, right? That's probably why the hikers cut their way out of the tent in a panic. They were desperate to escape. Disoriented and freezing, they probably wandered off into the darkness, succumbing to the elements one by one. It was a tragic end. The weird injuries? Totally explainable too. it all made sense in the end. Turns out, snow compression can mimic blunt force trauma, and scavengers, well, they're not exactly known for their table manners. Nature can be brutal. It's a chilling reminder that even the most baffling mysteries can sometimes have surprisingly simple explanations. Sometimes the truth is right in front of us. In our number 1 spot, the Somerton Man, a mysterious, unknown man found lifeless on a beach in Australia. It's December 1st, 1948, and picture this, a beautiful morning on Somerton Beach in Adelaide. The sun is shining, the waves are crashing, and people are just enjoying their day. Until, that is, they stumble upon a well-dressed man lying lifeless on the sand. The discovery sends shockwaves through the beachgoers. The cops show up and they're immediately stumped. This isn't your everyday beach incident. This guy has no wallet, no ID, no identification. It's like he appeared out of thin air. His attire, a nice suit, only adds to the enigma. As the detective worked the scene, they notice that all of the tags have been removed from his clothing and a single phrase sewn into his suit, Tamam Shud. It's a clue that raises more questions than it answers. Turns out Tamam Shud means it is finished in Persian, and it's a phrase found in the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, a collection of poems that basically say, hey, life's short, drink up. It's a poetic yet cryptic message. Is there something more sinister going on? The atmosphere grows tense with speculation. To add another layer to the mystery, investigators discovered a hidden pocket in the Somerton Man's pants. Inside, a secret code. Does the code hold the key to the mystery? That piece is still up for speculation. The code consisted of a series of letters and numbers that seemed completely random. It was a puzzle within a puzzle. Was it a secret message? A dying confession? The possibilities were endless. For decades, the Somerton Man's identity and the meaning of the code remained a mystery, baffling everyone from seasoned detectives to amateur sleuths. The case became a legend in its own right with speculation abound, yet no one could put the pieces to the puzzle together. Who was this man? Until, in 2022, thanks to the wonders of DNA technology and some seriously dedicated genealogists, the Somerton Man finally got a name, Carl Webb, just a regular dude from Melbourne. And now I'm an electrician. The mystery was finally unraveling. As for the code, well, it's believed to be connected to horse racing, specifically betting odds. It was a clue hiding in plain sight. See, Carl was a bit of a gambler, and those cryptic scribbles were probably his way of keeping track of his wins and losses. Or so some people want us to believe. Others are still digging, scouring possibilities. Is the note Morse code, and maybe that's why he was on the beach? Did he owe too many debts due to gambling? That piece, the world may never know. At least we have a name, Carl Webb, whose secrets may just stay with him in the grave forever.
There you have it, tribe. Our top 5 mysteries that blew everyone's minds when solved. Which one shocked you most? Drop it in the comments and tell me what top 5 you want next. For now, hit subscribe, ring that bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious.